Hello, welcome to the Freightus Effect podcast. We are hosting a theater festival called Entropyfest, themed Emergence. Entropyfest is a celebration of local emerging artists in the New England area. We will be hosting during the weekends of May 20th through the 22nd and May 27th through the 29th. Entropy Theater is doing the collaboration with us. Here today are a couple of the artists, and I will let them introduce themselves. June and Jonah, who would like to go first?
Oh, hi, I'm June.
And I'm Jonah. And we are going to be two separate acts performing together. Originally, the plan was I was going to be in June's band, and June was going to play in mine, but we just sort of smashed into one. So my band is Poster Colors.
My band is Miss Bones.
How did y'all find your way into the arts world?
Yeah, it's a big question. I don't know. I do know. I mean, I've been doing music for a very long time. I grew up singing, and I got into playing the guitar when I was probably 12 or 13. So I've been playing for a long time. Arts, theater have always been important to me in high school and in college. Improv comedy became really, really important for my artistic process and was a really important part of creative recovery for me. And I still do that. I still teach at Improv Boston and perform with Magic the Gathering, the show. And over the past couple of years, especially in the pandemic, found a lot of solace returning to songwriting and producing my own work. So that's been a real important outlet for me. And now I've decided to try and make that my career. So I'm teaching guitar, teaching improv comedy, writing and producing my work and other people's work. And that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and for me, I actually started writing music at all because of June. We were coworkers at the same company, and we were friends before that. Actually, we had played before together. It was all covers and like open mics, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then we kind of lost touch and then started working at the same job. We started playing together a little bit again. And I was like, I want to get better at guitar. I started playing guitar right after I got into college, like 18. And I didn't identify as a musician. I still honestly find it a little bit difficult. But, June, while giving guitar lessons, had suggested, hey, you should like try writing music. And I did. Because prior to that, actually, most of the stuff I had done was like some visual, like graphic design stuff and a lot of photography, especially in college, when there were like more spontaneous opportunities for me to do other people's stuff. Yeah, I think I've been a huge lover of music all my life, but it's extremely recent that I have realized like, oh, I can like make stuff too. Like it doesn't just come out of like a magical breed of people that like make music. There's like it is possible. So I want to thank June for a possibility to me. But yeah, so I would say like I think first identifying as like an artist for the medium I'm performing within for Entropyfest, I would say like last September.
So June, when would you say you first identified as an artist?
That's so difficult to pinpoint. I think it's come and gone over time. The word artist for me has been something that I've used and not used at different times. I think like Jonah was talking about, all growing up, I was in bands in high school and stuff, and I also liked to draw and I was always doing comedy. I was always like writing stories. I wrote a lot of short stories. I did all sorts of different things. And did I ever call myself an artist while I was doing those things? I don't know. Sometimes. I don't know if anyone ever asked me, so I don't really know when that word started to apply to me or when I started wanting to use it. I use it now. It certainly applies. I don't know, to get even more esoteric, like the longer I spend working in the arts, the more I think the word doesn't mean anything to me at all. And that it feels like a weird word to describe like a human impulse that everyone has. So I don't know. I know that it's like that's just not an answer. But I don't know. I certainly am one, but do I know what one is? No. So I don't know.
I mean, I find that interesting. Oh,
I
sorry.
was just gonna say, saying I don't know is definitely an answer. Like while you're figuring things out, that is still a part of who you are. So I just wanted to validate your feeling. But
No. I am an artist. I definitely am.
yeah.
In the same way that I feel like everyone is, like
Mhm.
that's what I think I mean. Yeah.
Well, actually, I've talked about this with June, I think, a few times, and like June sort of introducing me to their philosophy that everyone's artist was like really jarring to me because my mom's actually a painter who like went to art school, had a studio, had like solo exhibitions, like went the really formal path. And so for me, anyone that like created art was someone like my mom who had gone down that formal path. And June being like, "Oh, everyone's an artist." I was like, but it's been quite a shift in thinking for me because I did have a very deep preconceived notion.
So I'm curious, did that shift start because of June?
Yeah, I would say so. Like when June was like, "Hey, you can like write stuff," and I was like, "It's fake." I'd written like a comedy song before in college, and it actually has been my greatest hit to date. But I was like, well, I've only like written songs that are like funny, right, and like had a very specific
Mm.
purpose, and realizing I could like write the kind of music I actually listen to, which I would define as like for me, like my very narrow definition of like me would be like that kind of like that's when the shift happened.
I love that. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no. I just wanted to say that like identify with that same journey in some ways, and that like the first music I wrote was funny. I think it's interesting that I do think that tends to be like a comfortable entryway into songwriting for a lot of people, is the idea of like parody or simply like songs as gifts, like things that are intended to make your friends laugh. And that doesn't make them not valid works of art, but I think they feel like a comfortable entry point for a lot of people. And I find that interesting. It was true for me too. A part of it, I think, is that you don't have to be sincere in the same way. And I
Mm.
don't mean that as a slight, because I love comedy and I think comedy is one of my favorite things on earth. But I do think you don't have to commit to having your real feelings on the page said earnestly. And I think that's the scariest thing for most people.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's like a Mad Libs like quality to writing parody that makes it very approachable. It's more like a puzzle.
Yeah, it is. It's wordplay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gamey.
How have y'all educated yourself and honed your skills to kind of fine tune? Not, I didn't mean to make a pun there, but but to really hone your skills.
I would have missed the pun if you hadn't called it out. So thank you. I was glad that I got to enjoy it. I mean, all through middle school and high school, I took guitar lessons, and I think that helped me hone my craft a lot. When I first got into it, some like local college kids who would teach out of the sort of nearby music. There were like guitar lesson shops. I don't know. That's a thing. It was a thing. And there were a few college students who taught me some stuff, and then, there was a local jazz cat that I like went to his house in the woods and woodshedded, for lack of a better term, and that was nice. He made me some bad jam once that made me very sick, but he's a nice man.
Do you want to
And
say sick jams?
yeah, I got some sick jams in the woods. And then I think a lot of my guitar playing actually just comes from like I would just sit in my room and just copy songs and like try and learn exactly how people did certain things. And I think that was important for my ear, because that's sort of the instrument part of my craft. And when it comes to songwriting, I think really important things for me were in college. I took classes in short story and science fiction and poetry that I think really helped me tune my writing voice. And the way that Jonah was talking about like the conversations we had, I think improv comedy like broke a specific seal for me where it helped me get past judging the stuff I was making. And once you're able to like do that and come up with comedy on the fly in front of people, I think a very logical next question is like, well, why can't I write any of this down? And then I had other friends also that like helped me with some songwriting. I took some songwriting classes over the pandemic that were online that were great. And I had some friends and mentors who helped me break down that same wall. It kind of takes a kind person to be like, your work is valid and that you should make it and that it's worth bringing it out into the light. So I think those were all important steps for me.
Yeah, for me right now, I'm in the process of trying to get a lot better at guitar. And this is a process that's been on and off, but I think this is the first time I've actually like felt like the urgency of it. I was talking to June. I think I'm actually feeling that by like starting to practice in June's band and like just feeling the need is like, oh, like with myself, like if I was just playing like in my room with an acoustic guitar, I felt like pretty indulgent. Like I can like get away with some chords. I had an okay sense of rhythm. Like I can just like play to make myself happy, and then like playing to make someone else's thing like within someone else's thing that's good and trying to keep on making that good. It's like literal fire under my ass, which I appreciate because we all need that. Right now, it's per the June Isenhart School of Guitar. As instructed, I've been transcribing a lot of stuff by year. You know, continuing down the line of thinking that like the music and like art I actually like consumed, not from friends, but like just like in general, were like made by a completely different set of person than myself. I assumed that all the theory and all the expertise and like getting into like tones, you know, actually like soloing and improvising, that kind of thing felt like, oh, it's just for a different kind of person and not for me. Like you just need a different fundamental circuitry in your brain. And so I've been trying to fight that a lot lately and allowing myself to try things that are like uncomfortable and things that I like don't take to immediately. And just sort of like sitting with being kind of bad at stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, right now I think it's actually the most active period of honing I've been in.
Because that's an important place to be as an artist, allowing yourself to be in a place where you know you're going to grow, that you are in a place of change.
Yeah, I think also along with June, I think seeing June and another mutual friend of hers, Chloe, CJ Redmouth at bandcamp.com. She's amazing. She's gonna get big.
Oh, it's the CJ.
Yeah. Seeing friends from college like June and Chloe make music made me realize like there's nothing that sets these people apart other than their like need to make these things and the effort to follow through on the need.
I heard when you were talking how you said kind of how you're stepping out of your comfort zone and like kind of rewiring your brain a bit to learn in a new way. Have you experimented in any other types of forms of art, like dance, poetry, photography, or any other types of collaborations or projects that you haven't mentioned?
I mean, I used to really love, in particular, I think I would take photographs of stage performances, like theater usually. It was a lot easier in college when there's like five theater productions happening at any given time, and all of them want a photographer. The thing I loved about stage photography, and I wish I could go back to a little bit, is like when you're taking photos of people, like candids of your friends, for example, you're not going to take a photo of them crying. That's like rude without their consent, right? Or you're like not also gonna, well, some people do. I decided after like the first few months, I was like, okay, I'm done with that phase. I was like taking your camera wherever you go and just taking photos of the people around you like constantly. But in theater, it's like a very like it's an explicitly consenting space where they want photos of you, and you can take photos of people expressing themselves with a much broader palette. And I think perhaps the most fun is because the lighting is so different from what you get compared to real life, that it just sculpts the photo in a completely different, like in that way you're riffing off of the art that the lighting designer did, that the actors are doing, that the director did with their blocking, and like the set designer did, right? Like I'm just another layer on top of what everyone else did. And I found that to be a fun. It's just stressful for 3 hours taking photos nonstop. But I've heard weddings can maybe be like that too, except you can't take the sad ones. So yeah.
God, but people should though. God, you need to see sad stuff at weddings. It feels important to me.
You need to get people ugly crying.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who's cried pretty ugly at my sister's high school graduation, I did not want to see that afterwards.
Yeah.
This is not about me. This is about y'all. So June.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to like collaborating and experimenting, like a lot of other kinds of art are pretty important to me. My wife's a poet and a visual artist. You hit her up, Valentina Chamorro, on Instagram. She's great. She takes commissions. She's awesome. And over the pandemic, like we were making comics together. I was like writing them and she was drawing them, and they were funny and they were silly. Poetry has been important to me for a long time, and I think remains important to me, and has been something I've been returning to lately too, as a new way to like I'm enjoying writing more poetry again without thinking of it as lyrics, as a different mode of expression there. And I've written a bunch of sketch comedy that'll be on stage someday. I would like that. I have friends in like the circus arts and stuff who specifically I've been talking to about maybe scoring some stuff for them. I really like writing things that have no lyrics, and I really like soundtracking things. That was something I was doing for fun over the pandemic. I was in an RPG campaign, a tabletop RPG campaign, and I was writing music for like scenes after they'd happened. It was very fun. It's a different set of muscles that I enjoy flexing, and also it's like, do you even I don't know, it's interesting making music for something that already exists. So I am really hopeful. I don't think I can say anymore, but there's some cool shows brewing that I would really like to be a part of in that regard. So hopefully.
Would you like to tell us about what you're performing at Entropyfest?
Mm-hmm. We're gonna sing, and we're both gonna play guitars. Never before seen. I think there's gonna be a drum machine.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing a song about my dad. I think that much is certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonah's gonna sing a song about his dad.
Everyone loves the dad. Everyone loves the dad song. My dad liked the dad song.
Oh, he's already heard it?
Yeah, it was a Christmas gift for him. I was like, I'm gonna make you cry, and he cried. I was like, nice. Love to make our dads break down.
That's every artist's goal. So I think we'll be all right. We have a lot of songs written. It's not really a question of writing the songs. It's a question of selecting them.
Yeah.
So we've got our work cut out for us there in terms of deciding what's going to be fun, but we want to grab a couple songs from each of our catalogs, hopefully. Jonah and I have been playing together for a long time, so I think whatever we decide is going to come out cool, and I'm really looking forward to it. And Jonah, it'll be, I mean, actually, for both of us, it'll be some of the first time a lot of these songs have ever gotten to be out in public.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens between now and May. No promises on premieres for Entropy. But yeah, we have a lot of music that we've been recording and playing on like online open mics and stuff, but there haven't been places to play them particularly.
I do think it's a question of, are we sad? Are we loud? Are we sad and loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How loud and how sad? What's the mix?
How loud can we get?
How loud?
Yeah, the lad sound.
Where can the audience find your work, and how can people support you?
My stuff is at postercolors.bandcamp.com. No dashes, no spaces. And I think my Instagram handle is dude, where's my capo? No punctuation.
That is what your Insta handle is.
Nice.
Yeah, you nailed it. You can find you can find my stuff at Miss Bones missbones.bandcamp.com, missbones.bandcamp.com, and on Spotify, etc. But if a Bandcamp Friday rolls around, you can always toss $1 into my little virtual hat, and that's greatly appreciated. But Spotify, it's there too. Share it with your friends. It's fun. I got some other stuff on SoundCloud, and if you want to find me on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at the same handle, so find me there as well. I used to be funnier on Twitter, but I stopped tweeting because I think it was killing me.
Yeah, your mental health got better.
It got better when I stopped tweeting.
Oh, social media, honestly, I can feel my soul coming back when I get off of it. So yes, it is definitely depleting.
I got like one viral tweet about horses that got like 50,000 likes, and then I was like, I'm done. I think I'm done now. And I logged off.
That's a good time to walk away. I got one good viral TikTok and I was like, I'm hooked. This is it. This is my life now. And it was just a bad idea.
The 2 reactions to the ring.
Well, thank you both for being here. I'm so excited to seeing what you guys pull from your, it sounds like y'all have things that you have already done for the world that I just want to see live. So yes, I am excited to meet you in person. Is there anything you want to say to the audience before we say goodbye?
If you've been putting off your tetanus booster, don't.
Yeah.
That stuff. You never know where you're going to step on a nail.
Get on that HPV shot too.
Get on that HPV shot. I'm pretty sure I haven't had that. It's not great.
I wasn't expecting those, but okay. Yeah, those are true. I would also say get on PrEP. PrEP is awesome. Because it's 99% effective for HIV.
And it's fully covered by insurance now, including labs.
Hell yeah.
Get on it. Used to be hell expensive.
What a great way to end the show. This is fucking awesome. My God. How fucking informative information from artists. Well, I'm so happy to have you guys here. I'm going to say goodbye. Y'all better freaking be, the audience members, you are listening. You better be at the freaking show, May 20th through the 22nd, 27th through the 29th. If you can't be there, make a donation. I'm going to put as much information in the description of this episode so that you can support these artists. Otherwise,